This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So the meeting room is here. Good evening, Nicole. I'm Eric.
Hi, everybody.
Nice to meet you.
Nicole Minor, Select Board.
She's our select board liaison. So we're back to having liaisons because last year we had theoretically Steve, and the year before it was Peg Lorraine.
Hey, yeah.
Yes. Now we have
Nicole, how do you spell your last name? Minor, M-I-N-E-R.
Oh, good evening, Louise.
Yes, there she is.
Great. Thank you for joining. You have 1 minute.
Thank you for letting me know how.
Yeah. Well, it's helpful to have younger kids, right? Okay, I have 7 o'clock, so I'm going to call September 3rd Agricultural Commission meeting to order. Open the meeting. Welcome, everybody. I think, Steve, you joined us for one meeting.
I missed it.
You did
Missed
miss
it.
the one?
I had a carpal tunnel
Oh, yeah, that's right. You were going to come, but then you had surgery that same day.
Right.
Yeah. So hopefully your convalescence came through. And you're ready to go.
ready to go. Till the next one. Hey.
Yeah. So great. So Steve is our newest member. We still have one associate position open. So I think that was a note on the agenda, which we can talk about later.
You can spell your last name.
Because
Just put it right here.
the email addresses don't go on the agenda.
Thank you.
I don't know everybody here.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm Tyler.
Two introductions.
Tyler.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Tammy.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Tammy Ryan.
I'm Lori Carver.
Lori. I know this guy.
And I'm Eric Bernard. Yes. So great. So with that, we do not have the meeting minutes for June 4th, so we're going to table that until, it's no problem. We're going to table that until next month. Lampson Brook Farm update. Tammy.
No update. The update is that there's a Belchertown Brook Farm Board of Directors meeting on September 16th from 4:30 to 6. Across the hall. It's our first in-person meeting. So I asked for this meeting so that we could talk about how to move things forward. So if anybody has any ideas or thoughts about moving things forward. Background, do you need background?
September
16th.
16th, 7 o'clock.
That's a Tuesday.
Yes, it's a Tuesday.
Meeting selected.
I never know.
So I think we had left off, I think you missed the last meeting in June, and we were asking for a recap, but it's nice that Steve wasn't there, so either this meeting or the next meeting, if we could get a 10-minute,
Maybe after the board meeting, so she can.
Yeah, we started on, maybe you can do it next month, but we started in 2020 in February.
Yeah. Yep.
We were ready to go, the legislation,
Right.
DCAM doesn't agree, the lawyers don't agree with
Yeah.
DAR's lawyers, and,
Yeah.
the legislation is being held up to move it along, and just in more
Wait,
detail.
22nd.
But so we know, the players too,
Yeah.
who's on the board,
Yeah.
who's, how they vote and so forth, so,
Next
Okay.
one.
So these are not in any order of importance, but we talked about having a social media. You got an email. Why don't you explain what that email was, Tammy? Was it from Kate? Or was it from, it was saying our Facebook page needs to be archived with the town. And it keeps bringing up this issue of managing social media and email addresses and interfacing with the town
Who did it come from?
appropriately. I think you forwarded it to me. But I don't know if it came from Kate or maybe it came from Esther.
Kate and I were supposed to get together and she never got hold of me. So,
Okay, I see it.
and I totally forgot about it over the summer. So
Kate
you want me
Nato.
to touch base with Kate?
Well,
Right, because there's
there's
Civic Plus's archive system. Do you know anything about that?
I do not know.
Okay. So essentially it's an archiving system because anything we post is gonna be public record. But I don't think we're in compliance with social media to begin with. I think we just have personal accounts that.
Yeah, because our Facebook page is on my personal, attached to my personal Facebook page.
So I believe Kate said she could help us with that.
Right,
And I think we were either looking for a volunteer,
right.
somebody, if we could make sure all our email addresses are up on the page, or up on our own page at the Belchertown.org site. Just that sort of administrative stuff.
I don't mind doing that.
You don't? And can you find out how we can do a true Facebook page?
Talk with Kate.
Okay. That would be great. Or make it legal or make it administratively
Yeah.
functioning or so forth.
Getting emails on it.
Did you get this email from Kate? No, I'll forward it to you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Tammy.
She didn't have my email address correct, but I gave it to her at the last meeting and she never touched base with me, so.
Okay.
And I'm using Seabreeze.
Seabreezedogs13@gmail. Yeah, don't send
The other account
my USDA does not
has
exist.
expired. Okay, so Kate was also interested, and I think we had some interest in telling the Lampson Brook story. The last time she was here. And we suggested she wait until the fall to see if there are any actions happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that should be a discussion item for next month's agenda while you're here, because I think the more the word gets out that the town has the underutilized, beautiful piece of agricultural resource that is stuck in politics and legal matters, and that if there's, participation from any branches of town or public members that can help move that along, that would be great. I think this, the story should probably be a little more than that 20-second.
Totally, yeah. So what's Kate's role? She's a communications director or something like that?
Town's media director.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but she said she will write the articles. She volunteered to write
Great.
articles for us.
Right.
And we said, well, we only have, I was predicting we have 2 articles to write, or 2 things to do in the next year or so.
Right.
One was Lampson Brook, and the other one was our unit on that viaduct.
Great.
Any other item on electronic media or? Okay.
No.
See, now I'm gonna move to the next one. We need to discuss the letter of support for Kayla Busse's agricultural education enterprise, but we need to respond to it. So I believe we all got a letter. Steve, do you include it on that from Kayla? So you didn't. Okay. I can give you a quick synopsis, but then I want to hear everybody else's thoughts on it. So we got a letter from somebody who's doing an educational religious use at a property that's going to be centered mostly around ducks and chickens. And she was asking for a letter of support. It wasn't clear on where she was headed, but there are town permits that are necessary for her to have this enterprise. And so she sent a sample letter that we could send saying that we support it to whatever town boards, and she also put some information in there about what she is proposing for her operation. So I did sit with Paul Azima, the zoning enforcement officer in the building, because I wanted to know whether we needed to respond before this meeting, that was primarily, but she has not filed for any permits yet, and he expects her to file them later in the fall, so we have a little bit of time to make a response if the board decides they would like to make a response. I don't think it's required. And
Are we allowed to support in our, I mean, because sometimes you're not allowed I know with USDA, we cannot support anybody specifically. We can, letters of, we will work with them type of thing, but are we allowed to support an enterprise like this, especially where it's a religious enterprise?
Well, that's where I got confused, because it didn't say it in the first letter. But then later on, down in the curriculum, it talked about what they did in their daily operations.
That can preclude.
And she also threw the Dover amendments into the mix, which the Dover Amendment is a state law that allows, it exempts religious and educational organizations. It really doesn't exempt them from zoning and planning, but it provides them some relief.
Okay.
And so,
Some impact on zoning or something.
yes, like you can waive setbacks, or you can have less lot areas. So I think we would need to be careful with our language. I mean, obviously we support agriculture.
Yeah, right.
So if there's a beneficial agricultural, if we feel like there are issues or we feel like there are no issues, and the board should consider it on the other merits involved with the permits, certainly we might have an opinion, but our opinion on the religious education, zoning, other issues is not relevant to the situation. It's just.
But it kind of is, because as religious, it precludes some people from participating, yes, if they are
They
not
have
the same
religious.
Yeah. All right, let me give the rest of the story before I give you an opinion. So they live on Brook.
Did you have an
Sunny
address? I didn't
Crest.
see an address.
No, I have to find the address. So Sunnycrest Lane,
What's
which
the
is
address?
up 11 Sunnycrest Lane. And the issue is it's an 11,000 square foot lot. So it's a quarter of an acre.
Yeah.
And so,
A lot of ducks and chickens on that.
yes. So, clearly,
I wasn't clear on what they were doing. It's been a while since I read it, but when I did, I thought, what?
I mean, Paul said that after, it's very loose. It's the first time they're doing something, they're getting their stuff together. He wasn't negative, he wasn't positive. He was saying it seems like they have some work to do before they have a true application. So, I mean, one of the objects we could see is, Agriculture Commission always supports agriculture. We look forward to a more comprehensive application. If you would like us to,
I like
don't
it.
know, not opine on the situation, but if you would like us to consider a general letter of agricultural support. Because clearly, I used to work in the Dover Amendment rule. A religious or a school has to own the property. And so she can't even use the Dover Amendment because it's a personal piece of property. So they'd have to transfer the property into some organization name. So, there's legal work outside of the agricultural commission that needs to happen. They've got longer steps, but I think all as related to farm, our biggest concern is probably that it's 11,000 square feet. And if they're not having a half a dozen hens, there's, predators, manure management, rodent control, particularly if I believe it's a cluster development up there. So
Lots of neighbors.
it's not 10,000 amongst conservation land. It's 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. And if it's something very small, I would still be for it, but I think there are a lot of.
So it's a letter of support that she's seeking.
She's seeking. So I don't know if we just want to respond to her and just say, these are our concerns, and that, we would be happy to either meet with her or provide, general support of agriculture once a more comprehensive plan is put
Once
together.
she has her ready to put her permits in, and she has business plan that she can provide us and things like that, then we would be glad to
Do we
meet with
need
you.
that? We didn't need that?
I guess my question is like, was there a complaint? Like, how did she get onto the?
She needs a permit.
Well,
Her business needs a permit to house the people.
it's sooner than that though, really, because she already has an existing chicken coop set up with, 30 chickens in it, or ducks and poultry of some sort. And I guess just by that fact, it's not legal because according to our livestock code, anything at below 40,000 square feet really isn't allowed that kind of numbers in terms of
Density.
of a coop. But as near as I can tell, it's the only house on Sunnycrest Lane right now.
Right.
You know,
Where is that?
it's
Where is
down
that?
off of 181. It's that development that's being blasted out of the side of the.
Oh, it's there?
So
Yeah.
that's,
Oh, there's houses, no, there's
So
a
there's
ton of houses
17.
there.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're not
They're
occupied.
not occupied, but the houses are there.
Yeah.
right.
So
That's
that's
Sunnycrest Lane?
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
yeah. So that was
Yeah, that's,
Was it formerly called High Meadows Farm?
no, Coles Meadow.
now I
It's,
think
it's,
she
it's
has-
past Coles on the left.
She has.
she has that in her letter. Yeah, she references High Meadow Farm a few times.
Isn't High Meadow Farm, wasn't that where
Yeah, High Meadow.
DAR bought it, or Division of Fish and Wildlife, off of Bay Road?
No,
The
Oh,
hill
no,
that
that's
went
something
into
different.
conservation.
Yeah.
That wasn't called
That-
High Meadows in the
no.
time?
He's thinking of like near the storage units there.
Yes,
Uh,
that past Snows.
Oh,
Does
Oh,
Louise
so
know?
Before
Snows.
Snows.
Snows, yeah.
Snows.
Yeah,
They
before
call
it.
it something.
Henry, so.
Oh,
There
that
was a-
Morgan Horses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there was gonna be a residential development up there.
Yeah, right.
But then I think some of the land got put in conservation, and I don't know.
This is almost in, Runsville.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know exactly where
It's near
I would
Shea,
call it a court.
back
On
side of
181.
Shea Avenue.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the name of the development was High Meadow Farms, a
Okay.
subdivision of Belchertown, but then the street name is Sunnycrest.
Okay.
You know how that happens sometimes, but, yeah, so it seems as though, these houses are 11,000 square foot lots, and then the house may be fairly,
But half it is on the hillside
Yeah.
too. I mean, they blasted it out, so their backyards are the size of this table,
Oh,
and then it starts
Picture.
going up.
So,
That's 11.
is there a house next door now?
That's 17.
Oh, okay, maybe there was a complaint then.
I don't think it was a complaint, because
Oh.
she just registered the business. She just incorporated the business, and she's asking for the business.
Right.
I mean, it would appear to be a lot of legal fee for someone to just be able to have 30 chickens instead of 5.
Right.
To me,
Yeah.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and all these points still lead to environmental quality, effect on neighbors, and, environmental,
The chickens,
protecting the environment.
yeah, the chickens and the poultry are concerning enough, but then the introduction of making it a school type setting where children are coming to experience working with animals and things, it hardly seems like the setting, but that's not our decision to make. I mean, that seems like,
No, I honestly think I'm just worried about manure, predators, and rodents, and the effect on neighbors. And I think it did bring up, this summer, there was a complaint in town that came to me that I talked to Paul Asma about down in South Belchertown, and I can call it if you want, but I offered to have them come in front of us, I offered to meet with them, and I sent them resources. There was someone who had pigs too close. They didn't have 5 acres.
Mhm.
So the right, in Belchertown, if you have more than 5 acres, you can
anything.
pretty much do anything you want agriculturally. If you're under 5 acres, there are some restrictions.
Right.
And limitations, and it said all pig housing facilities need to be 500 feet from a neighbor. They were like 150 feet from the neighbor, and it was the middle of July, very hot out.
Yeah.
Is
And,
that, is that on Cold Spring?
No.
Okay. I know the people in Cold Spring with the horses.
West Street.
Okay.
It was on West Street.
People with the
I
horses
think-
on Cold Spring have pigs and have neighbor troubles as well.
I sent an email, which I should forward to you all, that just said, the agricultural commission would be happy to meet with you. I would be happy to meet with you and your neighbor. I asked him if he had met with his neighbor, or if he had spoken to Paul Axman, the zoning enforcement officer, so that they understand the rules.
Right.
I didn't hear back from him. Paul said he spoke to him, and he was gonna try to speak with his neighbor about it, and Paul spoke to the owner, who said it's seasonal pigs and he's getting rid of them. He's not sure if he's gonna have them next year. And Paul just said, if you are gonna have them, either be in compliance or meet with some people.
Right.
Because I also talked about resources, like how to
NRCS.
put your manure on the other side of the lot, put it downwind from, your neighbor, mix more carbon in with it if it's, there could be stuff that they could do to mitigate it, but clearly they didn't talk to each other, and didn't have that going forward. But in our bylaws, in the town bylaws, it is the agricultural commission's responsibility to help mitigate situations and calls of this fashion, which I didn't know, really, just at that point, so there you go. Yes, to help mediate that.
We need a special table.
So,
Do we get badges, like whatever?
More police, I like that. The shit stops moving.
so we can table discussion, we can respond.
I think we should
Somebody can make a
respond.
motion of how they want us to respond.
I'll make a motion that we respond to her that at this time, without additional information, we don't feel comfortable providing a letter of support, but once you have your request for permit, please come back to us so that we can, something like that.
Okay.
I would take it a step further and say that we could be more helpful after she's cleared the planning board.
Yeah, that's this fall or something. She has a meeting or something.
Well,
She hasn't really applied yet.
Yeah.
And she may not need to go to planning board. Maybe it's a zoning board. Maybe it's because
Or
she
zoning,
wants to have a school. So I think to have a school in a residential neighborhood, I think it's either a zone change or zone exemption. I'm not sure what, legally what she has to do, but I think, Paul's aware of it and it's having communication with her and suggested she gets help and support from consultants or something so that legal and otherwise, so that she does it.
In her letter, it says we are preparing for a zoning board of appeals hearing.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they've actually done that just yet.
Yeah.
Does Louise have anything to add?
Oh, yes.
Next page. Louise, do you have anything to add to this?
Well, okay,
About
is my voice on?
Yes.
Yeah.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, I read the whole thing, and I looked at it and all, and I couldn't figure out where she lived. This kind of changes a lot of that in my view, because none of those lots are very big where she is. But she did say, there was religious, but she did also say we can teach one way or the other. So it kind of seemed like she would teach depending on who was there, But what you've been discussing has shown me the other side of the coin. So I guess you're good and continue, keep on going. Because if it's going to be that difficult for her, I don't know, she'll have to do something size-wise. I don't know.
So she's gonna have a hearing with the ZBA? Is that what?
Well, she's in the letter, it says we are preparing for a zoning board. So they're probably hoping to go
So
to,
I think they wanted to include a letter of support from us in the application.
Right. Just to help set it up with the ZBA. Good more, yeah.
So there's a motion on the floor.
Mhm.
We're having discussion. I think we should add comments about truly the agricultural concerns of this, whether it's religious or educational or non-educational, that we would have serious questions about the density of farm animals on a small building lot. And that
Based on the bylaws.
these issues would need to be, information would have to be given about the management of these issues.
Tyler, do you have reference to those bylaws? Like, is there a paragraph?
yeah, I found very little really, but, where did I just do that's a copy of it basically.
Oh, I mean, just so you could reference.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm, that's right.
That's our,
But Paul was, I mean, that's the zoning enforcement officer that
Yeah,
is gonna opine specifically on whether or not,
Yeah.
how many animals, is there a limitation? I thought it was under an acre, it was just,
No, it's like 44.
yeah, under
On a lot whose size is a minimum of 40,000 square feet.
40,000.
that's Belchertown's bylaw.
but is that,
That's the minimum lot size?
Yeah, for anything considered livestock.
yeah, but our fowl, is fowl considered livestock?
Yes.
It is, further up in.
Goats, sheep, horses,
Goats,
swine,
sheep,
poultry,
Poultry,
similar
okay,
livestock.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're on
Can
a
I keep this
non-conforming
down?
lot,
Yeah,
but
you can have that. I have another.
by the development itself, it's probably under less than normal lot size, right?
I think there, is that like a cluster development? That's
Cluster
what they have?
development.
It must be, if it's, I wasn't aware.
They're very tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like they have, some open space.
Right.
That's common.
There usually is when a cluster development.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Maybe it's
She also
free
did
range.
say that she's willing to scale down if, but also for me, if we, offer support, we don't know what she's gonna do next.
I think it's a complicated issue because a facility like this, I don't know if the zoning board gives them yearly permits, if it's a forever permit, and then you deal with complaints legally, or whether or not it's like a use permit that then has to be renewed, so that because if someone came forward and said, I have a lease agreement with this other farm, or a manure, there was a horse farm somewhere in town that there were complaints about 10 years ago, and they had a management firm that was picking up all their manure and compost every week, moving it, and then that contract went bad or something, so then they had truckloads of manure sitting next to the property line, next to the neighbors who were complaining. So, what do you do in that situation? I mean, you clearly,
Somebody's
Shut
got
it down.
complaints, somebody's got to complain to the-
well, it goes legally, because even, okay, how about Green Acres, right? They have, I don't know how many horses they want to ride there on Route 9. I'm sure they generate, but we don't hear complaints, so I don't think anybody asks them. Are you spreading your manure? Is the density of the manure going out on the fields good enough? So I think there's some operational, and they're obviously a lot of land size, but there are some horse operations that are on very small acreage.
Oh, yes.
And those are the ones that typically, have questions. So I don't know. She talked about having another place in Ware. There's an option somewhere in the educational curriculum. So
There's a lot of questions.
there is a lot of questions.
What was the motion?
To basically say that.
To say that we don't have enough
That we
information.
don't have
I-
enough information,
A lot
and
of questions.
Do you want me to
once
take
she
this?
has a better plan, to come back to us, I mean, she may not pass the zoning just because I live next to her, I went to one school next to me that close. So neighbors may be a problem when she goes to zoning anyway,
So you would have to apply either for a variance, some type.
something.
But if the
or a
zoning
special
board
permit.
could give her a special permit that says, okay, you can have up to three people, up to 5 people, some small number, and they could say, and you can have up to 10 chickens. I don't know what they're gonna say, but
No.
I think we can support it without some more
Right.
deep, specific
Right.
details.
Although we support agriculture.
Although we support it, right?
yes,
We start
yes,
off with although we
Yes.
support agriculture.
yes.
We do have some questions. I can work with those on you with a letter.
Yeah, if you want. I just would revise it to say, I think we should give her reasons why that we're concerned, just a few of the things that we mentioned that.
And we can use the code,
Yeah, I mean, we could use the code, but we can also just say, we're concerned about density and what happens with animal disposal, manure management, when the bears start coming, if she has a lot of rain that's out there, the animals, and, you said 10,000 square feet, and at the price of those houses, I think we would be hearing complaints if it's too big. And I don't think she framed in the size very specifically.
No, in her entire letter, it never really mentions how large the setup is that she has or how many chickens, ducks are in it, birds. And just a little digging, you can find lots of pictures quickly and understand what it is and what it's, through her letter, trying to be.
And I think we could put a note at the bottom or in the letter that says if you'd like us to refer to resources of agriculture, including DAR and NRCS and others to help her work through farm management issues, we'd be happy to go ahead and do that. So that's a long-winded motion. We need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay, that's the Kayla Busse.
Yeah.
All right, so now for the most fun we have all year. As you all know, we have historically been having 2 events per year.
Yes.
Sort of a farmer meet and greet in January, and then a March, April that has been vegetable seeds, chicken keeping, a various amount of topics. I think the farmer meet and greet has been going okay and has reasonable turnout. The chicken event, particularly last spring, was not attended well at all. I think there was one person from town and one person from South Africa that showed up, and I advertised it everywhere. I even had it on the electronic media board at Chestnut Hill School out front there. Because I just thought people are starting to raise more chickens because the price of eggs is going up, I think. And it was a great presentation from this young woman from Pool and Grain who's done it the last couple of years. A couple of comments came out of that, and we discussed this in the spring. She told me that whenever they do a nighttime meeting during the week, they have much bigger turnout than they do if it's on a Saturday in the spring. I mean, we also happen to conflict with a certain sugar house in town, which Shelby can stay nameless, who just had 60-degree weather, bands, beer, and burgers going at the same time. So
That was in March, yeah.
that's a tough draw against that. So,
Bands too.
So I think we came and said, why don't we do one event? Why don't we do a better event and build off the January, do the farmer meet and greet. But then I think we talked about a couple of things which I tried to write down here. One is to have a time at the end where a social 20 minutes or a half hour where in the past we've just said coffee and cider and something and do something similar to that. And we put it out to the farmers, do the mailers again, and put it on social media and everywhere else to have that. But then have 2 or 3 topics, but make the topics shorter, like 20 minutes to a half hour. I forget whose idea it was, but I thought it was a good one to ask Mill Valley vets who just moved into a new building to do some sort of presentation on farm animals and some of the latest issues about farm animals. Does anybody remember who that was? Who suggested Mill Valley?
Well, good idea. It was me.
I want to take credit for it, but don't. But I do know Jessica Grew.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody knows them. I'll reach out to her.
I know her very well.
Oh, you do? Would you like to reach out to her? And
Do we have any conflicts for dates with, as far as our meeting space? If they use the
Lawrence Memorial Hall.
Hall.
I haven't checked yet because we didn't pick a date yet. So I figured we should talk a little bit about the date tonight, and then I don't think we have to go into a lot of detail, but I wanted to hopefully break up. In years past, one person would do the whole thing, or 2 people would do the whole thing for some events.
Yeah.
And I think if we each take a little piece, that'll
Make it
evolve
easier.
it. And I definitely think I'm going to suggest that somebody here with a Husqvarna shirt on MC or one of us MC at the end questions of topics that the farm community would like the Agricultural Commission to hear about.
Give
So
us
that
your
way,
best ideas.
yeah.
So we have a meeting on the 7th, right? Board meeting, January. That leaves you
Yes.
3 weeks to pick. So we want to do
So we do, In January, I don't know. I think we should still do a Saturday in January. I thought the chicken event was for young kids and with families, and if their March, like soccer had already started, I think, and it was a 60-degree day, so I think that played into it. But I'm wondering in January, the past couple of years, we've gotten 20, there was one year that NOFA was there, the Organic Farm Association made a presentation, or 20 or 30 people that showed up, which I think is a reasonable turnout for the community of Belchertown. So
the next Saturday would be the 16th, or unless you pick the early night, the 9th. The 9th.
Those are Fridays.
Yeah, that's right, 10th.
so
26?
oh, wait.
I have the 10th, the 17th, and the 24th.
Yeah, 17th and 20th.
I would suggest we go the 3rd or the 4th. I think if we stay away from the holidays, it
Martin
might be a
Luther
little.
King's birthday is the 19th, so that would tie into the 17th.
So you think it would be less than 10 because people may travel for a holiday because the Monday is off? Yes, okay. Just getting clear.
And what was the third you thought would be, like?
The 3rd or the 4th Saturday in January.
Oh, the third,
Not the third.
not the third,
The
yeah.
third.
24th.
The third is
Yeah.
a Saturday.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So
So
like,
that would be like the 10th or the 24th.
I think the 10th might be too close to
Yeah, right.
Christmas and New Year's, and people are just getting
24th.
stuff.
24th, people are desperate.
I move we
Paperwork.
that's all done.
yeah, that's farmer doldrum time. That's probably a good
That's
idea.
right. Hopefully it'll snow.
You're so involved, sorry. Would you say the 23rd?
24th.
Okay. So I will volunteer to check that we have Memorial Hall. So because we're gonna resolve the conflict between these rooms and this will become a permanent room. Ongoing.
I'll contact
Steve
Jess.
volunteered.
And
Tell her like a half an hour presentation, preferably not on dogs and cats. Even though they do wonderful jobs with dogs and cats. And even if it's something pertinent, like, I don't know if this equine or bovine issues, there's new tick-borne diseases that they do set, usually it's a topic that people, might be germane to raising animals, obviously, and not just an advertisement for a facility.
Last year I attended a seminar at Dr. Hess's, had put a seminar together about vaccinations in cattle, beef cattle, dairy cattle, and it was attended by a bunch of guys from New England. But that was, he sees a lot of need for vaccinating cattle yearly. Different
So, you might raise that question with them on what they're seeing, I don't know the numbers in town anymore because we don't count them, so, are more people raising cattle than pigs, than sheep and chickens, Are they seeing a lot of chicken issues that they might want to, they can choose their topic.
bird flu? Any bird flu cases?
We talked about that, and we gave out some information to the two people at the chicken event. About the bird flu.
Veterinarians generally are briefed on a lot of information when it comes to health issues and vaccinations and things long before I hear about them anyway. And they're generally, like Dr. Hess's office is generally the one bringing it to my attention, like this would be a good idea or whatever. And I know like when we transport cattle all over the country, it's always up to them to kind of figure out what it is state by state. When you cross 3 or 4 states, you have to figure it all out. But, and that's a constantly moving target. Like, something can come up in Connecticut that didn't come up in Pennsylvania, and they decide to change it. So
Yeah, I heard Connecticut is,
we don't even show in Connecticut anymore. So
they did it to the dog kids.
really,
They had, yes, my friend's 4-H leader in Connecticut, the county fair, was telling me what they made the kids go through to show their dogs in Connecticut. And it ended up costing these kids $200 to get the paperwork.
Yeah, to bring a small stream to Connecticut is like a $1,500 vet bill, to go to a county fair that you end up with, like, if you're doing well, maybe $400 or $500. Not really worth it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
So other topics, I think we should probably have
What time are we doing?
2 to 3. Oh, that's good. Good question. 1 to 3?
Yeah.
That's what we've traditionally done. I don't know. 2 to 4,
I like 1 to 3.
get people right after lunch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and get done before you have to get
Starts to get
chores,
dark.
start doing chores before
Yeah.
it gets too dark.
Yeah, 1 to 3 seem to be nice.
We've had topics that included NOFA talking about their resources. I don't currently know who their regional person is. We could reach out to them. Last year you had land entitlements. Kathy Brook came down and spoke. We've had a seed saving and a seed swap. We did talk about drought management or having somebody come talk about drought management, particularly for small gardens and farms, but
That might not be bad if someone from NRCS.
Yeah, I was thinking, if they could bring somebody.
The NRCS is always really interesting because it seems like, I know for me anyway, getting your information from conservation versus NRCS was two very different stories, and sometimes it's nice to hear it from NRCS.
If there's anybody left in NRCS.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're,
It's a moving target.
everybody from agriculture are retiring, are they?
we just
The
had,
good ones, all the good ones are retiring?
Closing the
I would
offices.
recommend
Closing
that.
the offices.
There's some people.
I was giving you a compliment.
Well, thank you.
Lori was with the finance service agency. She retired in order to retire. So nice. That's fun.
I know there was an article in the Gazette not too long ago about doing some free soil sampling. You can sign up for that.
Who was paying for it?
I think it was done through UMass.
It was it was
Well,
UMass.
UMass does it. That's where I send my samples. But
But they had
There's a limit.
They had a grant or something
Oh, to cover.
to cover the cost of doing.
Okay, so
I don't know if that's still.
is there a topic for NRCS?
I mean, I think climate resiliency is a good.
Which NRCS is very involved in.
Okay.
Well, they used to be, let's say. I don't know what they're allowed to do
What
now.
about somebody said something else. Oh, soil. Does anybody think we should still entertain a chicken person? Probably not. I think we've saturated the chicken raising market all the way to South Hadley. Okay.
It's probably a passing fad, isn't it?
I don't know. I think people will keep them on.
Yeah.
They sell a bunch at Tractor Supply, they're
They
going
still do
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, and Hardwood just went to 3. They now sell 3 orders a year instead of just 1. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So, cool. Yeah. Okay, do we have any volunteers to reach out to anybody else besides Steve reaching out to Mill Valley?
Well, I don't know. No, it's a commercial whether hybrid farmers would be interested in doing a presentation.
We be careful about that, don't we?
Is that a commercial?
Well, I mean, Mill Valley, it would have to be on something germane.
Not
And I
pushing
mean,
their-
they have a lot of, they do the same thing. They have weekend presentations and they have people come in.
Yeah.
It's not really somebody there. I mean, I think it would become a commercial for them if they came here to say what they have.
Yeah.
You know, be like Amherst Farmers or Tractor Supply coming up and saying, we supply grains, we have organic, we have no, you know. All right, so I'm gonna volunteer to reach out to NRCS. If we could get somebody else to volunteer to, or between now and next meeting, come up with one other idea in case, you know.
You know, the NRCS thing, we had somebody come out and review our plan, and it's pathetic. Person really didn't know anything. They really didn't know what they were doing. There is a person that was like a private contractor with them. I can't remember her last name. Her first name was Desiree, and she had a goat farm up in Northfield, and she would transport those goats, to a solar panel.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, we get paid an insane amount of money to do that. And it was a goat or sheep, maybe it was sheep,
There you go.
because the goats like to jump. But anyway, if she's still around, she's a great one. She's very knowledgeable. And,
So the topic would be goats for land management, for brush and land management.
well, it could be anything having to do with NRCS. She was very practical. I mean, and she was the one that would come out and say, look, do this, do that. They got their own specs, which are ridiculous for some things. And she's very practical. So I don't know, maybe an update on NRCS, I don't know. But I don't even know if she's still around. I can check and see.
Yeah, I can be in touch there. I'll reach out to NRCS. I still know a few people there, so.
Okay.
I will call over there and see. I mean, they might have an overview. I mean, they could maybe do an overview of the programs for small farmers. That could be one.
And they did hire a lot of people for climate.
Could talk about climate, which
I don't know if
is
there's
a lot of
still-
things,
They're
just
still
water,
allowed to do that.
stormwater, drought management, that's all something.
But they did hire a lot of people to work on climate issues.
Yeah. Okay.
We had also talked about maybe getting, some of our legislators there for the afternoon for questions and answers as well.
So
Aaron Saunders and,
let's see, that brings me to H, getting the word out. So to me, that's the one thing I think we should orchestrate and do earlier. And I think if one person volunteered to take that with other people's help, that would be probably beneficial. Last year, we could help with ideas and stuff at one of the meetings, but, I couldn't get an article in the Senate. You did, for the farmer meet and greet. But then Kate approached them and they wouldn't put an article in for us.
Is it because it had pool and grain written on it?
I don't know, because Pool and Grain is making, I don't know if we have to buy an ad or what is it. I mean, we have a $500 budget, if there's a $10 ad, But I do think, getting it correctly, our Facebook is private. So while I was sharing it amongst you guys, so you guys probably saw it 6 times, and it didn't get out to all of Belchertown, and the Belchertown non-town forum has been closed or shut, I don't know. I heard things, so, I would like to find a way that it gets out there in the paper, it gets out there in the
Well, we should
electronic
be able to
media,
get it in the new.
and it gets on our
Carriage
It's a Carriage Town article, so I think if we can, at next, sort of congeal by the November meeting, what is enough of the agenda so that we can then put out electronic media, maybe at October, November's meeting, we can go specifics on,
which media?
this needed to do. We can put I put posters up at Hardwick, Amherst, Farmers, and Tractor Supply. And I put one on the town placard, which I found out you need to tell them before you do it. Tends to be how I learn a lot of things.
Better ask
So-
for forgiveness.
Well, I asked. Well, it's so funny because I went in the office and I said, has anybody booked that? And he said, no. So I went and put it up. And they said, yeah, but you're supposed to fill out some forms.
There's some forms.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
Papers, please.
It was a little bit of miscommunication.
Media.
So,
Yeah, I'll
So
do that.
did it seem like when we had the meeting that Kate Nadu came to, that she made it seem real easy to kind of just drop these things in her lap in order to get things broadcast like this? When you're trying to promote an event?
well, she made the ads.
Yeah.
But she made these little
She did.
Yeah,
these little ads that were just perfect. And one, little tick on it,
Yeah.
saying, some sort of catchy line. I forget what it was.
Is that where it kind of ends though? Is just creating the artwork and then it was up to?
Well, I struggle with the organizational piece. It's
Yeah.
like, who who overarches and says, okay, we got the Sentinels on, the Thursday before, the month before,
right.
you gotta get it in, and do you pay for it, do you not pay for it, is it a notification? If it looks like an ad, do they have to change it, and put it in light, should it be an article, because that's what they'll put in, they don't wanna they probably have a calendar of events, but
That
that
could
same
be
thing.
part of the discussion that I have with Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I may have come away with that with the wrong takeaway, but it seemed as though it was like you basically just drop it in her lap and say, hey, this is an event we're doing on, January 24th, and she ran with it, but I guess there's more to it.
yeah. And she's only 19 hours a week.
Yeah.
For the town. She's very busy, so, even though, we're on the public record, so I'm saying she came to one of our meetings. She doesn't like to go to meetings now because it just takes up too much time.
Yeah.
It's not as productive
Mhm.
for her. So we just send her the information and then say, this is the plan. Or say, can you help us with the plan? Do we have to do the plan? And she just puts the materials together, that sort of back and forth.
I'll get it together. I can work on getting the word out.
The events calendar discussion, I don't know what that was. It was a leftover from last spring. I think it was just whether or not we're gonna have one event or two events. And if everybody's sort of in favor of just having the one event, I think we should continue on that vein. And I would go to the 7th item, which is the ag disposal bylaw. So we kicked around coming up with a 2-page ag farm animal disposal bylaw. Sunderland had problems last year. There's nothing written in our bylaws that tell people how to bury animals, where to bury animals, can they bury animals? And we came up with, or we copied a couple, we came up with a couple samples. UMass.
UMass has a really good one.
Yeah. Yeah, we had UMass's kind of recommendation, Williamstown, Bellingham, South Hadley, and it seemed as though UMass really had the most kind of clear and applicable one to, I think, most issues in our town anyway. And then there was just the question of whether there'd be any additions or changes made to it. But I would think, as it's written from UMass, would be the way.
Good enough.
Yeah, almost.
Well, I think, and I don't know if we just refer to UMass's though. I don't know if any of the other towns have a 1-page bylaw that says this is what it covers, and you should follow the procedures as set up on UMass extensions of blah, blah, blah.
Some of them were very specific, some of them were very generic.
Yeah, so
And I don't think any of them said, go to UMass.
no, you know what I mean, they might reference their documents, but say, to do burial in accordance with this, to do composting in accordance with that. I'm just saying we don't have to write a 12-page document.
No.
I'm guessing
This is just
should be a couple of pages.
this is just like a 2-pager.
It's, yeah, in terms of disposal, there was just kind of straight out burial, and then the composting methods were on the back there that were a little more interesting, but.
And there is one interesting thing that maybe we can get a bets on, which I learned, which was some people talked about 6 feet, that the burial was a minimum of 6 feet. I don't know if you've heard that.
Yeah, well, Williamstown has a thing here that says burial will not be less than 6 feet below grade, covered by not less than 30 inches of soil.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hold on, I'll say that again.
Burial, their wording is burial will not be less than 6 feet below grade, covered by not less than 30 inches of soil and manure to aid decomposition. So the bottom of the hole, 6 feet deep, put the animal in.
That's what I was trying to get.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you wanted 6 feet, a minimum 6 feet down. I was told that is because of the drugs that they use, particularly in euthanizing dogs and cats.
So UMass's recommendation, though, doesn't mention the 6 feet, but they do mention the 30 inches of soil cover. So,
Yeah, so
depending on the size of the animal, that's a very deep hole for not a lot of.
it is, if you don't have
Yeah.
backhoe,
Yeah.
6 feet.
Here in Belchertown.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, I think we should move this forward. We talked about the calendar needs to be ready by March or April in order to get the special town meeting.
Mm.
Did somebody say it needs to get the planning board or the select board even prior to that?
We have to ask.
That's a lot of pressure. She just volunteered.
We do have a date, I don't know what it is. We're also looking at a town meeting in the fall too, for October.
Yeah, I don't think we need to rush it at all. To change the bylaw, the question is just the procedure for getting a new bylaw. Does the draft need to go to other boards to say, I don't know,
Like
if it
Board of
goes to
Health.
legal and Board of Health and Planning Board?
I think it does have to go through legal.
Yes. So I'm just saying, from a schedule standpoint, it seems like
Planning board approved her.
we should start working on it a bit, and then if anybody wants to wait till after January, but it can't wait too long because then it's not done yet.
All the bylaws come out of the planning board to be voted on.
Okay, so I think it does need to go. I think it was Dan who was recording us, who just happened to be on the planning board, and
Yes.
was formerly on the Ag Commission, and he's also an attorney who was giving us advice. He's no longer with us at the meetings. I saw him Tuesday night, he's fine. So, I don't know, what does the committee feel, like commission feel like how we should move this forward?
I guess how does the planning board want the format of this to be in before we spend a lot of time retyping UMass's statement? Is there any special format that they want it in?
Bylaw format,
Yeah, is there a bylaw format? Do we have to put it in that type of format?
Article 1, section.
I can check with,
I can ask Dan. Is Dan on the plane?
Okay.
I mean, he's my neighbor.
I'm fine with, I just want to make sure nobody gets burned with all the issues and with all the writing and all the other things, which is what I'm watching for. Looking at this, but if you'd like to ask Dan and Steve, you'd like to, who are you going to ask?
Doug Albertson.
Doug Albertson, yeah. Sure. Why don't we get the official town? And then we're still back to, originally, I tried to share a Google Drive and I was told that was not advisable for documents, so I don't know how we could share this document. We could just edit it. I don't know if we want to do it at a work session, reserve, one meeting, say the agenda's a half an hour, and then after that, we're going to spend another 45 minutes or an hour with the computer screen up, working on the document and reading it and circulate it beforehand.
Well, you could send it out to us and then we can send any suggested edits back to you. And then you bring
That is one option.
What's
Well,
wrong?
multiple edits, I love Google Merge, where you can see who's added what,
Yeah.
If you all send them back separate, someone's got to make sure there's a lot of proofreading involved.
Oh.
And your point of like, do we actually want this to be a bylaw or just a recommendation, right?
Well, who talked about it? Steve Williams did have a conversation about it. It's not of the highest priority,
Sure.
but they felt with more animals, particularly more animals being disposed of in town at not larger, more managed operations, that the question was coming up.
That's where the problem
And
is.
some of them
With
had a lot to
Ramsey.
say about it. So it came up at either
Right.
Mass Municipal Association or one of those events, it came up and they brought it up. So I don't think it's a lot of heavy lifting. To me, it sounds like a couple people, a couple hours, and then us spending a few hours on it, or an hour.
Oh, I don't mean
Twice.
lifting for us.
Yeah.
I just mean like causing problems for farmers.
Oh,
Like just
But on the
creating more
other
laws
side,
and rules.
It's then,
It's
we're
advice.
saying it's okay to do,
I mean,
that's what happened. They buried without permission. So then the town was sued because they didn't have a bylaw which allowed them to dispose of their animals.
and it was too close to the wetland,
Yeah.
the edge of their property.
so
I
since
think it
the
was
town
to
didn't
the
have a
board.
bylaw, the town got.
The town had liability in that situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clear.
So this doesn't really seem to address the topic of whether you need a permit to dispose of an animal by those standards.
I don't think you need a permit.
No.
I mean, it's basically to cover the town and the property owner if they do bury an animal and they follow the bylaw, which
Yeah,
refers to
sure.
other applicable standards.
So we're not proposing that there be any kind of permit.
No, just some
Just-
guidelines.
I don't believe any of us in the proposal of additional oversight on that.
Yeah, no, I'm good on that.
Right.
It's the $200 fee for the kids to go show dogs. It's just the drop in the bucket of
Yeah.
everything
What
we
else you
face,
can pay for.
everything we face every day.
I think it would be a smart thing to have as a town though, because like
Yeah.
the situation that came up in Sunderland, like when you don't have anything written down, it's like having, not having an employee policy manual and then someone comes in late and you're like, well, I didn't know that was a problem, you know? It's like,
You could borrow from the fund.
yeah, you kind of have to have something to refer to and, you know, if it's already happened in Granby and Sunderland, like,
Yeah.
it seems like the wagons are circling, you know?
Well, and we're talking about smaller acreages of land and,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, like I'm surprised, like what do people do with bird carcasses? I mean, I don't think it's addressed. We're talking larger animals here,
Well,
but
I mean, it's livestock. This, you know, dead livestock, horses, birds, etc. So it's like,
some people do. But let's say, you know, I raised 20 birds, my neighbor raised 20 birds on a Saturday in October, we bring them all to somebody's house and do all 40, and a lot of times they got thrown into the transfer station. Which I'm not necessarily sure that's a bad thing, but they could also be composted responsibly, could be buried, you know, if you give people options, I just think, yeah, that's what me.
I think the composting should be on something, you know, whether it's our portion of the town's website or something, so people can refer to it if they wanted to. Because it is, I mean, it's a little bit more,
Complicated.
yeah, a little more laborious to compost something, but,
Carcass.
you know, in many ways, it's a lot easier than digging a 6-foot
Have you
hole.
have you done it? I do it all the time with sheep and it works like a dream.
Yeah, no, cattle, no.
I mean, cattle are
Chickens,
bigger,
yes.
but the sheep within
Yeah.
6 to 9 months, it's good soil and that's it.
How you do it?
What? I typically dig a shallow hole, like 2 feet down, and put organic material under them, and then put organic layers of different organic material on top of them. And then that's it. And then just wait, and then I till it, and then use it as compost somewhere. So. Yeah. Okay, I think we can continue this discussion next month based upon some input from Steve and Lori on how to move forward. I think we have 2 more agenda items. One is just, I'm gonna reiterate that we have an opening for 1 more associate member. So, there was someone that applied and then, was supported to me. I got back to them 3 times and they didn't respond within some sort of automatic time period. They have to not assume, so it sounded like they weren't interested. So, so we still have that opening. So if anybody runs into anybody and if per chance that person has a background in electronic media and other things that would be most probably appreciated.
Someone under 30.
I hired 20-something at work.
Yes. And then lastly, I don't know if we want to ask our liaison if she's got any questions or anything to tell us.
Nothing at
No,
this time, no. I just learned quite a bit tonight, though. Very of animals. Yeah, no, nothing that I can do, though. I am interested on an overview of Nestle and, because I know very little about what's going on down there, so.
Oh, yeah, Lampson Brook Farm.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Louise, do you have any other topics before someone entertains a motion?
I'm all set.
Okay.
Can we ensure that we have hybrid meetings going forward?
Yeah. Well, if the elevator's working, I think Louise likes to get out once in a while, but we will.
It's good to have that option.
We definitely do.
Well, Steve did say that they're gonna be putting a
Yes.
bigger computer monitor in here.
But this is, like, I've been watching the camera and it's like,
The cameras,
they're moving
Yeah,
around
whoever
and
speaks, yeah.
the cameras really, these owls are really impressive to me.
it's wild. Oh, it's just that?
It's
Yeah.
this, yeah, it's a camera that spins around by voice activation. So if you
Little eye on
speak,
it.
it goes on you, and if other people speak, it,
I
yeah.
don't know.
It goes around, and it's got a couple of different views that you can see.
Yeah.
Can't see it very big. They're only, at some point, like I would have liked to call it the Google map of
Sure.
Busse's place. I would have liked to have the letters up at the same time, and so I'm struggling with, do I learn how to do this? And do both those at the same time, or I do two computers, or this, but then you have to share, to the person who's hybrid, you have to share that, so we'll continue to learn and try to get that figured out.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good. Thank you, everybody. Good to see you.
Thank you for attending. I've been at a lot of boards and we get nobody, no liaison from the select board shows up very often, so
Well, I will
Thank you.
always try.
that's all we can ask.
Okay, well, I'll just continue to CC you on agendas and so forth. So
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, it's been nice time.
Maybe once a month,
Oh.
Well, once a month.
but not,
And 10 months. We typically take July and August off.
Yeah.
okay.
So and it's typically the first Wednesday of the month. That's Saturday.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the other guy's helmet?
Yeah. The Ag Committee Biker Gang?
Yeah.
Yeah. Only one. Is yours electric?
No.
Yours is gas too?
Yeah.
I thought you got an electric bike for some reason.
Not yet. It has electric in
Yes. Yes.
My neighbor made an electric motorcycle during the pandemic. He's some kind of engineer and he had nothing to do.
No.
Yeah, he took like an old 1974 Yamaha and took the engine all out of it and ordered little battery cells and soldered them all together.
Mhm.
And I rode it and it was one of the scariest things there. Not scary, like unsafe, just like if you weren't an experienced rider, you
Yeah.
would not want to try it.
It's-
Because it was like 0 to 60 faster than anything I've ever ridden.
Yeah, instantaneous torque.
Yep.
I'm surprised, like the electric bikes, I've been considering getting one electric, it's just because I'm like, oh, I can ride 5 miles, but if I want to go,
Go 20.
go 20 miles with people, why don't I get an electric bike? Well, a lot of them, you don't have to pedal.
Yeah.
And they'll go like 28 or 30 miles an
Yeah,
hour.
I think it's technically 29 is like the cutoff before
Yeah.
you need to register it.
Yeah, so I'm like, wow. That's
How fast were you going?
Yeah.
20 minutes.
And a half.
No, we got an electric car, and it is, my head, the first couple of days, my head was hitting the back
Yeah.
all the time, because it just has so much torque. It's forward. Anyway.
Battery.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank
Nice
you.
to meet you.
Thanks.